Hello everyone. This is a quick video to introduce you to Introduction to Law, to get you to meet the teaching team and to get a bit of an overview of what we'll be doing this term. The first question you might have is, why do we have a team of teachers? And the answer is that this is the biggest unit that's taught by the law program, and it's taught to different sets of students, particularly the law students, but also an equally large group of criminology students. We also have students from other disciplines who study this unit out of interest. And there are even SUN students, SUN students, who are in high school, who are doing a uni subject through their high school studies. So we have a wide, diverse range of students, and we've got a larger staff because of that. So my name's Scott Beattie. I am a lawyer by education, but I'm also a criminologist and have worked in both disciplines. I originally worked in the public policy field in human rights, but I've been an academic for quite a while now. Now, I'm the unit coordinator in this unit, which means I do all the administrative tasks and help you out when you have problems and help you solve those sort of problems. And you may have already figured that we're running two different sessions. The online session, which is primarily in the evenings, primarily for the law students, and the daytime session, which is online, but also linked into the connected learning spaces in Townsville and Rockhampton. And that one's during the day, primarily for criminology students. And you can attend either, it's fine, but you might want to attend the one that's customized for your particular group. So my colleague Luke and myself will be collaborating on the preparation of the units, doing the videos ahead of time, and you'll see there'll be material and discussion coming from both of us. So I'd like to introduce Luke Price, who is my teammate in this particular endeavour.
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, I'm Luke, and you might guess already that I'm not from around here. So I'm now up to my third jurisdiction, having been in the UK and the US. In terms of what I do, other than teach Intro to Law, I spend a lot of my time looking at big corporate disasters, so things like oil spills, banking scandals, mining accidents, those kinds of things, and I look at how we should respond to those kinds of disasters. I also run the clinic here. So the clinic is a unit where you can get hands-on experience of real legal work under the supervision of a solicitor. So later on in your studies, just have a look out for that unit because it's a good one. I'll be running the evening sessions, like Scott said, and that means I'll be seeing all you lawyers on Wednesday evenings. I say all you lawyers because I do think that's the purpose of this unit, to get you all thinking a bit like lawyers. The things that we're going to be teaching you over the next 12 weeks are things that you're going to be using throughout your studies and throughout your career, really. There are also going to be things that you're going to be getting better at over time. So don't expect to be perfect at them in 12 weeks. That means be kind to yourself. You know, when you're doing a reading or you're writing an assignment and you're sat there thinking, wow, this is hard. Yeah, it's going to be hard because it's new and it's complex. But you're going to have plenty of time to put the polish on these skills because you're going to have your whole career to do that. Now, the flip side of Introduction to Law being, a course about really career fundamentals is that you do need to pay attention. Right now, you might not fully realize why you need to know certain things, but we are teaching them for a reason, and that reason is that we know they're important. I spent the first year of my law degree thinking that I didn't need to explain my reasoning in the way that I was taught and the way we'll teach you to solve legal problems. I figured I could just work out the answer, boom, there's your answer, give that, that's all you need to do. The thing about that is, if you try and do that in front of a judge or a client, it's not going to go well. So, if we are teaching you something, please trust us. You're going to need to know it sooner or later. The other thing we're going to be doing is helping you build your professional portfolio. We want to make sure you're well prepared for a career, which might be in law, but law degrees and legal skills are really good for lots of different careers. So we're going to prepare you for all sorts of careers, maybe not in law, maybe something completely different altogether. And with that, I can hand back over to Scott, because I think he wanted to discuss the unit format.
Yes, we are delivering this unit in what's called a flipped format. And that means that we will be giving you videos and readings and things to think about beforehand, before class. And that means we can concentrate in the in-class time on actually working through problems and actually working on skills in a way that, as Luke said, that you can demonstrate your reasoning, the way you're thinking about things, and we can have a conversation about that. The conventional sort of way of teaching, where we spend the time we are together with, us talking to you, you listening, and then going away and practicing your skills, doesn't really work. And the flipped format takes advantage of the technology we have. It's a way of us being able to record things earlier so you can watch them in your own time. And particularly for the videos, we'll be making them available the week before the class. We don't make them available earlier because we need to be able to respond to things that are happening in the class. So if we get feedback from you where you say, we would like more detail on this, or would like to see more of that, it's very useful for us to be able to record these videos fresh each week, where we could include those as well. So don't worry that there's not videos for every single unit lined up at the start. The whole point of it is that this is a flexible way of communicating. So when we do meet up in class, the focus is going to be about doing things and not about you listening to us talk. It does mean that you're going to have to be proactive and engaged, particularly those who are in the electronic spaces. And it can be very easy, particularly for the evening classes, if you've been at work all day, just to go, I'm going to turn my camera off, and I'm just going to turn my microphone off, and I'm just going to sit there and snooze through it. And I understand that completely, but you honestly get more out of it if you actually engage and ask questions and get involved. And one of the nice things about Zoom is there's that chat button down the bottom, down there somewhere, where you can actually, even if you don't feel like standing up and speaking out, you can actually get engaged in the conversation through the chat window. And that's really useful as well. So we'll talk about that more as the semester goes. So for the moment, Moodle is the repository of information. Your study guides are there. There are links to all of the university policies. It is a site created by a committee. Therefore, there is a lot of stuff on it. And as an information designer, I think it's overwhelming, and I think there's way too much information sort of crammed in there and not very well organized. So if you are looking at Moodle and going, oh, there is so much stuff here, how do I find anything? We've tried to make it as logical as possible, but stick with us and ask questions if you need some help. The other thing that I'll talk about in a separate video is Microsoft Teams, which is a collaborative digital workspace that works a bit like Slack. You may have heard of Slack, but this is the Microsoft product. Now that's being rolled out across the university. I think of next term, it's for all units. We're running a bit of a pilot project here, and I'll give you more details about that. But one of the good things about Teams is that it's accessible from multiple places, including your phone. So, I mean, we're not a call-in center. I know Luke and I are not going to be sitting around at 11 o'clock at night waiting for messages to come in on our phones. We generally work to normal work hours. However, it does mean that there's a lot of flexibility in the way in which you access things, and you don't have to be signed into Moodle to actually ask questions and communicate with others. So there'll be more videos coming out on those things, and there will also be videos on the assessment tasks, which are usually the things there are a lot of questions around at the beginning. But for the moment, I thought it would be best just to introduce ourselves and to let you know who we are, and to look at those things later on. Do you have anything in closing to talk about, Luke?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch briefly on the study guides that you're going to see on Moodle. If you've kind of been on Moodle, had a browse through, you'll have seen study guides. And just to give you an idea of how those are going to work in terms of your prep work, in each study guide, you're going to see references to the readings that you need to do. You're going to see some review questions that you can have a go at answering to test your knowledge. Now, importantly, no peeking at the answers until you've actually had a go at the questions, and some workshop questions. And what we want you to do with those workshop questions is just try and prepare some answers ahead of the Zoom workshop for each module. Now, when you're doing that, we realize that you might not be able to answer everything, That's why we have the workshop. It's a space that we can bring everyone together and we can share understanding. There might be some things that you don't understand or don't know about that someone else in the unit does, and vice versa. And what the workshop does is let us bring all of that knowledge, all of that understanding together into one place, and that's for everyone's benefit. When it comes to this prep, and this is across this unit generally, my key message, my key takeaway is this. If you start to feel overwhelmed, if you start to feel like you can't do everything, then don't do nothing. If you can get some of the way through the questions before the workshop, that's okay. It's not the goal, but it's fine, and you'll still get a ton of benefit out of the workshop. Do what you can, talk to us, talk to other students on the discussion forum, use Teams. Together, we can work these things out. And with that, I think really we will see you on the 11th of March. And in the meantime, enjoy Orientation Week.
Yes, so I also encourage you to go along to the orientation events, and for the criminology students and who those who are wanting to attend the daytime sessions, we are negotiating room changes because the criminology numbers have blown out this term, which is great news. We've got a whole lot more criminology students, but it means we have to reorganise rooms. So we will be in touch with what's going to happen with that booking. Okay, see you all soon.